Hey, the guilty are afraid. You're right.
Yeah.
Plain.
Feeling better?
Oh, yes, much better.
That was the main thing. Just to let you know, how's your boy? How's your boy?
Oh, he's doing well. Yeah,
Good.
actually, he started new school today. I was a little bit
Okay.
worried, didn't want to get the call that I got to pick him up early because he's beating
Uh,
people up. So, but now
Listen,
he's doing
listen.
good.
You gotta get the next generation ready. You know what I mean? You're not gonna
Yeah,
live forever. Got to hand over the mantle at one point. So glad that's good. Just to let you know, Cash App is now working. I shouted you at Cash App from the UK today, so that's okay.
appreciate it. Thank you,
So
brother.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No, your Cash App name is Chris, right?
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I did
So
acknowledge your Cash App earlier. Yeah.
yeah,
Thanks again.
I prefer the moniker you've given me. It's kind of stuck, so I love that one.
Mhm. And yeah, and huge shout out to Jason Black. It's my understanding that he gave me a shout out on his stream tonight. And I've been a fan of Jason Black since before I even started a YouTube channel. So, you know, uh, I'm definitely feeling myself a little bit. Okay, I got on.
Doing sir?
Can't complain. Can't complain.
Feeling better?
Oh yes, much better.
That was the main thing. Just to let you know, how's your boy? How's your boy?
Oh, he's doing. I'm definitely feeling myself a little bit. Okay, I got on Jason Black's radar somehow. Okay, okay, I'm doing something right. I'm doing something right.
Yeah. Something I wanted to let you know for I dropped you a little note, but for future, there's a channel, a lady who's very much in support of Pearl. Big fan of Obsidian. I came
Mm.
across her on Obsidian
Is
show.
her name Jessica X?
No. Her name's Jupiter Affiliates. I went
Jupiter.
onto her
Okay.
site over the weekend for the first time. I was going to spend about an hour there, but I ended up spending 5 hours because this
Mm.
woman is solely behind Pearl and will
Oh,
not
and
be
you know what? They
convinced
say they
about.
can't hear you. I know I turned your mic down because you were loud on my end. So let me turn
Okay,
your mic up a bit more. Make sure
okay,
people
no
can hear
problem.
you. Oh, and
Yeah.
actually, real quick before you continue, United was asking, "Where's the original video from Pearl?" So it is in my humble belief that she is going to be
I,
be deleting this video right
yeah.
here. And before she does delete the video, if anybody wants to check it out, let me show you guys where you can find it real quick. All you have to do is type in brief, but let
Okay,
me know what you want to say.
I'll be brief. He wants you to review me. I have no idea why. He
I think
came
he
in.
mentioned that you were an apologist for Pearl. You felt she did nothing wrong or something of the sort.
So the my vote is out on Pearl at the moment. I don't know. I'm weighing up, and I'm watching. I come from the UK. I had an audience member who told me to go and take a look at the Manosphere. I decided I would. I find it interesting that Ola asked me to come and take a look at your show and then pops up to tell you that you should be reviewing me. I mean, I got a sense of humor. So, yeah. Uh, if it so, are you saying that you've got an open panel later? Maybe a pop up there if Ola's there. And
Yeah, yeah. The last stream that we're going to be doing this evening, which is going to be a reaction to Aber and Preach, basically destroying Pearl. The end of that stream will be a call-in show, so everybody can definitely call in. It's kind of hard to see your photo though. When you say you're from the UK, you're like a white woman from the UK, right? You aren't like someone who moved from Jamaica or Africa or something.
no, I'm a white woman married to an African man,
Okay, gotcha.
Nigerian.
And you said as far as the whole Pearl controversy, your vote's still out. You don't know exactly whether you think she's racist or not or anything of the sort.
Well, I think there's always two sides to every story, and you wait until you see the two full sides. I know Sarah Garvey. I have interviewed Sarah Garvey. I've met him in person. I know that Sarah Garvey isn't a genuine person.
All right, so
So,
so so now you're kind of jumping all over the place. I was specifically talking about the things that Pearl said, and you kind of deflected to Sarah Garvey.
okay, so I actually think that there is some merit to what she said.
Okay, so what has she said that you believe there's merit to?
So I think that slavery and the Holocaust has had embellishments.
Okay, so you're a Holocaust denier and a slavery
No,
denier.
I'm not a denier, not at all. And I'm not against Jews or blacks. So,
But you're trying to project a claim that our suffering was somehow embellished, even though you're a woman in the
well,
UK who.
there are
Don't
stories.
interrupt, ma'am. Don't interrupt, ma'am.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you said you're a woman in the UK. You're not in the States, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever been to the States?
No.
Okay, so you're a white woman in the UK who's never been to the States, and somehow you believe that the slave trade as it stands in America was embellished?
Can you provide for me one piece of evidence that babies were ever fed to
I
crocodiles?
asked you a question. I didn't ask you to answer a question with a question.
Well, there's your
In the
answer.
UK, that might be acceptable, but in America, that's highly disrespectful.
Well, I don't mean to disrespect you, but at the end of the day, that
Then you
story
can
is
answer the question.
that story is put out there as
My
fact,
question was, you
and it's not
believe
a
that's a,
fact, so it's an
ma'am, now I'm going to
embellishment.
have to mute you because you're trying to talk over me. I asked you a simple question. It was actually a yes or no question, so you can keep your answer to a yes or a no. You believe, even though you've never been to the States, have no history within America, you believe slavery in America was embellished, yes or no?
Yes, it has been embellished.
And who told you that?
The fact that there's stories that babies were fed to crocodiles and there's no evidence.
Who told you that babies were fed to crocodiles and there was no evidence?
Many people quote it on many platforms.
I'm asking you to stand on what you're saying and cite your source.
I'm telling you
Who
that
told you
I have
that babies
heard
were
many
fed to
black people
alligators?
in the UK claim that babies have been fed to crocodiles, and it's not true.
Okay, so now I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'll play a little bit of devil's advocate. Let's let's assume that that was not true. So let's assume for a second that some people out there are saying babies were fed to crocodiles, and that's not true. How does that mean that slavery as a whole is embellished? You're citing one specific thing. How does one thing in your mind not being true, how does that mean the entirety of slavery in America was embellished?
Now you're being disingenuous because that's not what I said. You're trying to propagate and twist my words. I said slavery.
You said slavery was embellished, and I said, what makes you think that? And you're talking about babies and crocodiles. The only thing that you brought up to defend your point of slavery being embellished was some story you heard about babies being fed to crocodiles. That's what you brought up, not me. So is there maybe other points that also reinforce your negative stigma that it was embellished, or is it just the babies and the crocodiles?
So I've seen many debates between black people where they debate the numbers. Some say there's embellishment there too. But the fact of the matter is that you are being disingenuous because I never said that the whole of slavery didn't exist. I never said
You
that
said
it
it was
wasn't, I didn't,
embellished.
I
You
said
said
it
it
was
was
embellished.
embellished.
I did. What does
And what's the
embellish mean,
definition of
sir?
the word embellish?
Yeah, go and look at the word
No, no,
embellish.
I'm asking you, woman from the UK, what definition are you going off of when you use the word embellished?
Right. So when you embellish something, you emblazon it and you add to it. You also make it more hyper than it was, and you exaggerate. So if you stick to the
And
fact
I
that the
asked
problem
you
is,
what makes you
it
think
has
that
been
slavery was
embellished,
embellished,
and
and you
nobody has
brought up
questioned.
babies and alligators. Do you have any other sources or any other claims to support your thought that it was embellished, or is the story of babies and alligators your end all be all?
No, it's not my end all be all. I gave you a second thing. I
No, you
told you
didn't.
about the figures.
What's the second thing?
The figures.
What figures?
So some people say that the numbers that have been overestimated for the amount of slaves that were taken to America. They say it's not possible because they've done the mathematics, the number of times that it would have took and the hours it would have took to cross the Atlantic, the days, and the ship's cargo size. So there are two things that are queried. The same with the Holocaust. People sometimes argue over the numbers. It's not.
So you're saying
It's
that
not.
your
It's
second
not.
claim for slavery being embellished is you're saying that not that many slaves came to America as is originally reported?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there's a
You're
question of
talking about the
the exact
numbers of
numbers.
slaves that came to America. That's what you're discussing right now.
Right. So you
And you're saying
overtalk,
the
but you
numbers are
don't allow
false.
people.
There is no overtalk. This is my show. This is not a democracy. This is a dictatorship. You came here, the last guest, as it may be, when I was already wrapping up the stream, and you came up here to spout a bunch of bullshit that you haven't been able to stand on yet. So whenever I interject or mute you or talk over you, you need to get it through your skull that that's the way it's going to be as long as you're here. If you have a problem with it, you can click the red button to end the stream. Do you understand?
I understand perfectly.
If you understand perfectly, then understand that I just muted you again, and now I'm going to continue to speak. So the first thing that you cited was the story with the babies and alligators. Now you're bringing up the number of people that came to America. So are you saying that the number of people that came to America as slaves is inaccurate? Yes or no?
I'm saying that there's a
That's a yes or that's a no. It didn't sound like you were saying yes or no. That's why you just got muted. So again, yes or no.
I'm saying it's questionable.
That's not a yes and that's not a no. So the fact that you got to give a half-ass answer shows everybody watching and everybody who's going to watch the replay, the thousands of people that may be, that you can't stand on what you're saying. First, you said something about babies and alligators, and when I asked you to cite your sources, you said you heard from some blacks in the UK. You try to pawn it off on some blacks in the UK told you some story. Now you're saying that it's questionable the amount of slaves that came over, and you can't cite a single source. You're supposed to be speaking the Queen's English, all educated and proper, and you can't name a single source to support your claim. That's what you're telling us?
What I'm telling you
Can
is
you
that
cite a single
children were
source?
not
Can
fed.
you cite a single source to support your claim? Yes or no? A source would be a book, it would be a person, it can even be a documentary, it can be anything in culture or history. Can you cite a single source for anything you're saying here right now?
Yes, and I'm going to put it in the
Then
back
cite your
for you.
source. No, no, no. You don't need to put it in the back chat. You need to say it right now and
I
say
can
it
share the
boldly and
screen if you
proudly.
like.
What? No, I didn't ask you to share a screen. I said cite your source. You can do it verbally. Who's your source?
Okay, so HNGN headlines.
I can't understand what you just said.
Really?
Yes, you have a thick
H
accent. Most of us are in
H
America. We don't hear
H
your accent constantly. So, yes, it was very hard to
H
hear what you just said.
N G
Are you saying
N
H? Are you saying H?
H N G.
Oh my gosh, woman. H is pronounced H, not H. So, once again, we can't understand your goddamn accent. Are you saying H as in Henry?
Sorry,
God
I
damn,
can't.
you're supposed to be the one speaking English, not me. Are you saying H as in Henry?
Sorry, I can't understand your accent, sir.
I know. Now you're being disingenuous because you're upset that we can't understand the pish poor accent that you have when you say H with a Y and a S and a H. So
Oh,
again, woman,
blimey,
are you
Governor,
saying
do you
H as in
understand
Henry?
anything I told you? Want me to start
Are
talking
you
in my
saying
natural
H as
accent?
in
What would
Henry
you? What accent would you
or what are you
prefer,
saying?
sir?
Are you saying H as in Henry? That's what I'm trying to
What
get past.
accent would you prefer?
All right, so you're gonna get dropped if you don't answer the question. I asked you to cite a source, and you can't cite your source. You opened up saying Heish. I don't know a person named Heish. I don't know a letter named Heish. What is Heish?
H.
Did you just say hate?
H.
As in a letter?
H.
I'll Google it, you guys. I'll Google it. Hold on. Let's see if there's maybe an author out there named Heish or or if there's something that she's referring to that I'm just not understanding. Heish, it's an urban
Yeah.
dictionary word. Ripe, bite, tear, the other person's clothes off. You're feeling extremely heish. Are you saying that you're up here sexually smitten with somebody and that you have a feeling to rip somebody's clothes off? Or what are you saying? Because the word heish apparently denotes to ripping, biting, or tearing off clothes.
Are you for real, sir? Do you think that every woman that comes on your platform wants to rip off your clothes?
You came up here for a purpose. I'm trying to understand what that purpose is. I asked you to
Well, I
cite a
gave you the
source and you
seventh
said
letter of the
Heish.
alphabet.
Oh, so it is a letter. So you're saying H as in Henry. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just real challenging to get through that accent. So if you were spelling, you can continue to spell out your source. Since apparently you can't say your source, you're spelling it out phonetically as if you're a kindergartner of some sort. So go ahead and
No, I'm
continue to
spelling
spell
it
out your
out
source.
because the source is literally 4 letters. That is what it is in the title.
And it took us 10 minutes to figure out the first letter was H. Hopefully you can say the other
No,
letters
it
a bit
took
more
10 minutes for
properly.
you to figure it out.
What are the other three letters, ma'am?
You are a funny, sir. I'm not afraid of your.
All right, Becky. All right, we got Becky from the UK with the bad hair who wanted to tune in, and she didn't know whose show she was calling into. She didn't know who she was dealing with. Oh Lord, she should have asked about me. She should have looked at some previous content. She done got blindsided, y'all. She appears speaking the accent of a London whore, talking about Heish, Heish, Heish. Bitch, you mean H? H as in Henry? No, Heish, Heish, Heish. God damn, if that's the Queen's English, oh my lord. Oh my lord. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, before we get into the next stream, which is continuing to prove that Pearl is racist, because again, we go by the actual definitions of words and we cite sources here. So when I say she's racist,